Simple question. Can you really change your study game in just 1 week? I was always the tired guy. Eyes red, mind foggy, and confidence at zero. But I was done being the underdog. I wanted to become a topper, at least for one test. So, I decided to try that 7-day study challenge everyone keeps talking about. No magic, no shortcuts, just honest work with a new system. 7 days. That's all I promised myself. I looked in the mirror on day 1. The tired face stared back, but I wanted to see what would happen if I kept going, even when it felt impossible. Could this really turn me from lazy to sharp? 1 week, one experiment. And on day 3, something happened that shocked me. But let me take you through every single day. I've tried a lot of things before. Fancy planners, late-night study sessions, even group studies with friends, which honestly always turned into chai breaks. Some people say study hacks only work in theory, but I needed real results, marks in hand, stress out the window. Last month, I read about active recall and spaced repetition. Science says they boost your memory like nothing else. But honestly, do these hacks work for a normal, distracted guy like me? Would this system fit into my messy, real-life routine? I promised full honesty. I'd show my struggles, the bad days, and the wins. If I failed, I'd tell you. If I succeeded, you'd see it. No filter. But before I jump to the shock on day 3, let's start with the reality shock of day 1. Because that's where most people quit. Day 1 was a wake-up call. I had imagined myself sitting down, opening my books, and just getting into the flow. But reality was different, much harder than I expected. I sat down to study at 7 p.m. right after dinner. The house was quiet, my desk was organized, and I thought I was ready to focus. I even made a cup of tea, hoping it would help me concentrate. But within 5 minutes, my phone buzzed. WhatsApp group messages, Insta memes, random notifications, each one pulling my attention away. I told myself I'd just check for a second, but suddenly, 40 minutes had disappeared. I barely noticed the time slipping by. When I finally looked back at my book, I realized I had read just 1 page. Worse, I couldn't remember a single thing from it. My brain felt slow, almost stuck, like I was wading through mud. I tried to force myself back on track, but every paragraph felt like a mountain I had to climb. I reread the same line 10 times, hoping it would finally make sense. Even the sound of the fan seemed louder than usual, distracting me further. I kept checking the clock, hoping more time had passed. Why can't I do this, I wondered. Is something wrong with me? My mind was full of doubts, and I started to feel anxious about falling behind. I tried to follow the plan, study for 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. I set a Pomodoro timer, thinking it would help, but even those 25 minutes felt endless. My mind wandered, and I struggled to stay present. I got up for water, checked my messages again, and even wiped the table for no reason. Anything to avoid the discomfort of studying. I realized I was looking for distractions, almost hoping for an excuse to stop. My focus was missing, my mind was fighting me at every step. I felt like I was losing a battle against myself, unable to control my own thoughts. At the end of day 1, I had done less than half my target. I closed my books in frustration, feeling lost and disappointed. It was hard not to be discouraged, but I told myself, this is just the first day. Maybe my brain just wasn't used to this kind of focus yet. I reminded myself that starting something new is always tough. Tomorrow I'd try something different. I'd find a way to make it work, no matter how many times I had to start over. On day 2, I decided to try active recall. No more passive reading. I took a blank sheet and tested myself on every topic. The result? I couldn't answer even simple questions. My mind went blank. I realized I had just been studying, not learning. At first it was embarrassing. I was annoyed at myself. How can I forget the things I just read yesterday? But that was the truth. My brain was exposed. Active recall showed me my real weakness. It was tougher than just reading. I had to close the book, face my memory, and write down what I knew. Sometimes the page stayed empty. That hurt, but it felt honest. No more fake confidence. By the end of day 2, I was tired, but at least I knew what I didn't know. And somehow, that pain pushed me to try again on day 3. Day 3 started like the last 2, slow and heavy. My alarm rang before sunrise, and I dragged myself out of bed, feeling the weight of another long study session ahead. The fatigue from the previous days clung to me, and for a moment, I wondered if I'd ever get used to this routine. But something changed. There was a shift in the air, a tiny spark of curiosity that hadn't been there before. Instead of dreading the books, I felt a strange urge to see if anything had stuck from all that effort. I pulled out my notes and tried recalling yesterday's chapter. I didn't open the textbook right away. Instead, I closed my eyes and pictured the pages, the diagrams, the key points I'd struggled with. And, words started appearing in my mind, without even opening the book. It was like my brain was finally waking up, piecing together the information I'd forced into it. I wrote 2 answers in a row, almost perfectly. I was shocked. The sentences flowed, the facts lined up, and for the first time, I didn't have to check every detail. It felt like magic, but I knew it was just hard work paying off. Wait, did I just remember that? I double-checked my notes, half expecting to find mistakes, but they were right. That little victory made me grin. My confidence went up a notch. I tried more questions. Some answers came easily, almost as if they'd been waiting for me. Some I still forgot, and a few made me pause and think harder. But the difference was clear. I wasn't stuck anymore. But this was a big jump from day one's blank mind. Back then, I'd stared at empty pages, frustrated and lost. Now I could see real progress. My notes were filling up, and my memory was actually working. For the first time, I saw the system working. The effort, the repetition, the struggle, it was all adding up. I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, I could keep improving. Active recall had forced my brain to actually learn, not just read. Instead of passively skimming pages, I was pulling information out, testing myself, and building real understanding. It was tough, but it was working. The pain of day 2 made today's surprise sweeter. I felt a spark, a sense of accomplishment I hadn't felt in a long time. It was like climbing a hill and finally seeing the view from the top. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I wasn't as hopeless as I thought. That little bit of progress gave me hope and made me want to push further. By the end of day 3, I was less scared. The anxiety that had haunted me was fading, replaced by a cautious optimism. I could see a path forward, even if it was still challenging. Still tired, but not hopeless. My body ached, but my mind felt lighter. I knew there would be tough days ahead, but now I had proof that progress was possible. I was excited for day 4. For the first time, I looked forward to studying, curious to see how much more I could remember and how far I could go. I wondered, if I keep going, how much better could I get? The journey was just beginning, and now I was ready to see where it would take me. Now it was day 5. Everything felt lighter. The heaviness that used to sit on my shoulders every morning was gone. I woke up with a sense of purpose, almost excited to see what the day would bring. The sunlight streaming through my window felt like a gentle encouragement, nudging me to get started. I woke up ready. I sat at my table, and the books didn't look scary anymore. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, I felt a quiet confidence. My desk, once cluttered and chaotic, was now a space I actually wanted to spend time in. The sight of my open books felt inviting, not intimidating. I could focus for longer. Distractions still came, but I fought them off faster. My phone buzzed, but I found it easier to put it aside. The urge to check social media or wander off faded more quickly than before. Each time I resisted, it felt like a small victory. Studying started to feel like a routine, not a punishment. The dread I used to feel was replaced by a sense of normalcy. Sitting down to study became just another part of my day, like brushing my teeth or having breakfast. It was no longer something I had to force myself to do. I used active recall and spaced repetition. These techniques, which once seemed complicated, now felt natural. I made flashcards, tested myself, and spaced out my reviews. Each session built on the last, and I could feel the knowledge sticking. Every time I reviewed a topic, the answers came quicker. Concepts that once took ages to understand now made sense almost instantly. I could recall facts and ideas without second-guessing myself. It was like my brain was finally cooperating. My notes grew. My confidence grew along with them. Each page I filled was proof of my progress. The stack of notes on my desk was a physical reminder that I was moving forward step by step. I even started enjoying the challenge. Difficult questions became opportunities to learn, not reasons to panic. I found myself smiling when I solved a tough problem, feeling proud of what I could do. It felt good to see my own progress. Checking off tasks in my planner gave me a sense of accomplishment. Each tick mark was a small celebration, proof that I was sticking to my plan. I noticed something else. I stopped doubting myself so much. The negative voice in my head grew quieter. I started to believe that I could actually do this, that I was capable of more than I thought. I didn't worry about forgetting everything. Instead of stressing over what I didn't know, I focused on what I was learning. My anxiety faded, replaced by a calm determination. I knew mistakes were part of the process. When I got something wrong, I didn't beat myself up. I saw it as a chance to improve, to fill in the gaps and get better each day. My brain was learning to learn. That was new for me. I could feel connections forming, ideas clicking into place. Those aha moments became more frequent, and each one made me want to keep going. By day 5 evening, I looked back and smiled. I realized how much had changed in just a few days. The journey wasn't over, but I was proud of how far I'd come. I had come far from the day 1 disaster. My messy desk and scattered thoughts were replaced by order and clarity. The difference was obvious, not just in my workspace, but in my mindset too. This system was not easy, but it was working. The effort I put in was finally paying off. I could see the results, and that made every challenge worth it. I was building real momentum. For the first time, progress felt real, and I knew I could keep going. Day 7 arrived. Test day. Usually, I'm a bundle of nerves. My hands sweat, my mind races, and I forget even the easy stuff. But this time, I felt different. I sat down, closed my eyes, and took a deep breath. No panic. I started the test. Questions came one by one. My mind was clear. I remembered most answers without searching for them. There were a few tricky parts, but I didn't freeze. I wrote what I knew and moved on. For the first time, I felt in control. No more blankouts. No more silent prayers for easy questions. I finished early and even had time to check my answers. That never happens to me. When the test was over, I realized something important. 7 days ago, this would have felt impossible. Now, it felt normal. Here's what school never teaches you. Most people quit too soon. The pain of day 1 and day 2 is real, but it's temporary. If you push through, your brain starts to change. That's the secret. Second, most students confuse studying with learning. Just reading a book is not enough. You have to test yourself. Active recall is hard, but it's honest. It shows you what you actually remember, not what you think you remember. Third, nobody talks about self-testing, but it's the main reason toppers stay toppers. They don't just read, they challenge their own memory. That's how you fix your weak spots before the real test. These lessons are simple, but most people miss them. Don't quit when it gets hard. Don't fake progress, and always test yourself. Let me be honest, this system is tough. Your brain will fight back, you'll feel lost. But if you stick with it for just 7 days, you'll see real change. Not overnight magic, but real, steady progress. I'm not a genius, I'm just stubborn. I learned that discipline beats motivation, and that the right study system can turn anyone from tired to topper. If I can do it, so can you. But I know what you're thinking. What if I have zero motivation? That's the next big question. How do you study when you just don't feel like it at all? Stay tuned for my next story. What to do when motivation is at zero. If you're struggling, you're not alone. We'll crack this together.